Hey everyone, John Henry here, Slingshot Futures Trading Group, SSFTG. Welcome to the video. In this one, we're going to be talking about kind of a funny but still sort of serious topic. When does a pullback stop being a pullback, right? When does a pullback actually turn into a reversal? Is there a way to classify when this happens? And there is a yes and a no answer to that, depending on the rulings that you use in your trading. There are some very statistical ways to say yes to that, and then again, there are some ways that you can take a step back and look at it from more of a psychological perspective and say no. So when we look at the classic definition of what makes a trend, well, we define a trend by higher highs and higher lows. So then, realistically, a trend, or a pullback in this case is what we're more focusing on, would stop being a pullback when that trend is invalidated, when we make a new low. Now, as we know, and the reason why you could sometimes say no to that is because we've seen this multiple times where it breaks underneath the low and goes screaming back up. So there are a couple extra caveats that I like to add to that in terms of when a pullback has stopped being a pullback. One of the first things that we're looking at as far as using a trend differentiation is fairly obvious. If we are making lower highs, lower lows, then something is obviously changed. If we start off at the point that's obvious up at the top and we work our way down with just the obvious swings, nothing too crazy. We've got the nice swing high, swing low inside there, swing high, swing low, all the way down, big V bottom, and then a rip to the upside. So technically speaking, from a pullback or a not pullback standpoint, this stopped being a pullback when it broke above this. It started becoming a reversal when it broke into that. Now, obviously we can see that that did end up becoming the case, and we started reversing back in the other direction. But there are a few other caveats that I like utilizing in terms of figuring out when a pullback is still a pullback and when a pullback is becoming a reversal. And usually that is derived in volume. And when you draw a volume order flow from the bottom all the way up to the top, usually what you'll end up seeing is a POC somewhere inside of here that gives us an idea of what the intentions are of the traders. In this case, the POC is way down here on the impulse. The market did make a new high, so we can actually go back a little further and see where's the impulse on this next move. So from this perspective, the impulse from this move, assuming that I wanted to be a seller from the lows and looking at it to roll back over, because remember, that's the idea here. If this is actually a correction in a bear trend, then, well, we should see the market regain all the way back down to the lows. So a lot of sellers will be approaching it from that perspective. So what I like seeing is the volume start showing that the traders are making an attempt in the appropriate direction. In this case, the POC is up here, so the market making an attempt to the downside is what I want to see. And when that attempt fails, that's where it becomes more interesting to me as far as a pullback versus a reversal. When the traders are continuing to the downside and we successfully rotate underneath the POC here, that's a pretty good attempt from the sellers. The sellers are making a really good drive to the downside, and in this case, they were unsuccessful and rolled all the way back up. So the fact that we see the sellers try holding off of that POC and then they break back up to another new high, that would likely demonstrate that we might be in for a bit more than just a correction phase. This may be a reversal phase that could be sticking around for a little while. Now remember, the thing that you have to keep in mind is when you're looking at a correction in a trend turning into a reversal, that gives you a big clue that you're probably still early to the party. Remember, reversals usually have a prerequisite of another trend going on that they're reversing out of, right? Well, at that point in time, a lot of traders are still thinking that this trend is going down. So trying to pick up on a reversal and trying to see, okay, where's the bottom on this? You're essentially trying to pick up on wave 1 into wave 2 and hoping to catch wave 3. And that's the type of reversal that you're getting into, and waiting for that excess volume profile confirmation really makes a huge benefit in trying to pick up when that failure is actually taking place, when the reversal is happening versus when a pullback is happening. So hopefully you find that useful, interesting, entertaining, something to consider on the next time you're getting into a trade in kind of asking yourself, are we still in a correction? Or is this actually becoming a reversal and I have to reapproach this in a different way? If you have any questions, as per the usual, you can drop those down in the comments below. Or if you need a more detailed answer, you can always shoot me an email as well, jhb@ssftg.com. Until the next one, enjoy, and we'll talk to y'all then. Thanks.